5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, everybody, how are we all doing? It's nearly Friday the 13th, but it's not because it's Friday the 14th. Man United, 3 wins in a row. Good response from the City game. A lot of frustration, really, in how our finishing has been, but not ultimately in the results. I know football's a results-driven business, but we will speak about the positives that we saw last night. And there were plenty of positives, the frustrations that we saw last night. And there were plenty of frustrations. I'll run through everything from the game last night. I did it in my match reaction, but I like to do it with you live in the morning after too. Ten Hag really praised United's overall team resilience for the fact that we got a 95th minute winner. But at the same time, yeah, we should have been like 4, 5, 6-0 up by that point. Although their keeper had an absolute stormer. But look, it's Friday. I've got a shirt. I'm going to do a giveaway today because why not? Feeling vibey. You can let me know what you think in the comments. We'll speak about the game. We'll speak about individuals. We're also going to do our player ratings. Going to run through those. We did that last game and you seem to enjoy it. I'm going to do it again this time. And it's Friday. We're going to pull up the map. It's interactive. There's lots to discuss this morning. Who's down here in the comments? T and Josh, I can see you down there. Porter as well in the mod gang. Brandon, good morning to you. Anthony, we've got Michael Parsons. Akil, Everton, Thomas, Klein, good to see you, buddy. Ricky, Thompson, sorry. Craig Warren, Jaro95, Dylan, John Hammond. Lots and lots of you down there this morning. Good morning to every single one of you. It seems like it might be a little bit of a quiet one this morning, but I think everyone might be still hungover from last night, including Ian, who went to the game. How you doing, Ian? Nice to see you there, buddy. But look, the first thing I want to say about yesterday is this has to be like one of the most wholesome things you'll ever see. Francis Azujo, Omonia's goalkeeper, kind of reminding you, I know United have fallen. I know we've fallen a long old way, and we're climbing that ladder back up. But when you see Francis's reaction to playing against United, to simply getting the opportunity to see Old Trafford, to play at Old Trafford, it kind of makes you it reminds you like, man, United are massive. I thought this was him before the game. This was him after the game. Man, he had a big old smile on his face. Ian sent this into the WhatsApp group. That's him on the Old Trafford pitch at full time. And of course, why are these all different sizes? That's really weird. He stopped Erik Ten Hag after the game, after the press conference, to get a selfie with him. Honestly, it was the most infectious. If you haven't seen it, go and watch the interview with him. It's the most infectious interview. His team's just lost 1-0, and he cannot stop smiling. Cannot stop smiling. And look, he did absolutely put in a stonker of a performance. Steve walked down there saying, sign him up. Seems like such a nice dude. It's a bit like Odi Nagalo. When Odi Nagalo came to the club and he was just like, he loved it. He loved playing for Manchester United. And it's a shame. I always say this. It's a shame that Igalo's best goal came in front of an empty stadium away at Lask in the Europa League. Remember that? Absolute pearl of a goal that he scored. But look, fair play. That's what I said to Francis Azujo. It was a fantastic performance. It really, really was, right? But at the same time, I think there was a lot to be desired from Manchester United's finishing. And I think this is something that we're going to have to focus on this morning. Erik Ten Hag ultimately was pleased with what he saw. Ultimately, we had 34 shots. We, as a team, were in real control. As a team, we're getting better and better and better. But in terms of finishing, the finishing has to improve. It really, really does. Look, the main thing I want to do, look, I'll run through Erik Ten Hag's quotes in this straight away to kick it off, actually. This is what Erik Ten Hag said about the overall resilience of Manchester United yesterday against Omonia. Because they kept the faith, and that's why they scored. I have to compliment the team. We kept patient. We kept getting in the right positions. We kept creating chances, and we didn't allow the opponent to come out. So I think they did well. The performance was well done. And I think it was. It was a game. It was attack against defense. I'll be honest, Omonia should have scored. If Bruno wasn't so greedy and didn't he should have lifted his head, and it was a square ball, and it was an easy 1-0. And Carl, I kind of got a little bit slated yesterday for how I said this in my match reaction. And I think it's a little bit of both. It certainly is a bit of both. There's no denying that their keeper made some fantastic saves. Remember the first one from Rashford, nice fingertip save, spread himself well when Rashford came out for another chance. Yeah, and the double save within like 40 seconds of the second half. He definitely made some cracking saves. That's what I mean. Like, fair play to him. He will never forget that night, and he shouldn't, because he was really, really good. But, and this is the caveat, there were real positives there. And I'm going to speak about the overall positives from the game. I'm just focusing on the finishing at the moment. I think the finishing yesterday left a lot to be desired. I kept saying it I said it on my match reaction. I said it on Twitter as well. Finding the corners. A lot of the shots, I think quite kind of Paul Scholes went into it a little bit. You know what Paul Scholes is like on BT Sport after. He's not going straight for the Roy Keane line of, it's just his job. What do you expect? Francis Uzoho played above and beyond what a keeper should be expected to do in a game, no doubt. But we need to just it's about the split-second composure to think where that shot needs to go. That's what I think we've been lacking. It's what we have been lacking. And this is what Erik Ten Hag said about the finishing after the game with his post-match reaction. As I said, he complimented the team, but he also said this. One thing about football, you have to score. I think this game had to be 3 or 4-0. The only thing that we were lacking was scoring goals. We scored so many chances, or created so many chances, and that is not easy against an opponent who I would say they are really compact, like a handball defense. That's a really good way to describe it. The compact, well, I don't know about a handball defense, but they were very compact. There was a lot of movement, a lot of creativity, so many chances, but we didn't score. And look at this. This is the XG. I don't particularly focus on XG too much, but 4.15. Woof. We had so many clear-cut chances yesterday, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at. I know full well that their goalkeeper had an absolute stormer, but at the same time, I think we should have been finding better angles with our shots. I don't know whether that comes through coaching. I don't know whether that comes through just a little bit of confidence, but I feel it needs to change there. Salt saying, did we not feel like we had a natural identity? I don't know if you're talking to me there or not, but you can see the identity coming through. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know whether I'm going to do it today or tomorrow. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I want to do a video on Ten Hag's system and how it's really starting to bear fruit. That's what I think. I'm going to go and read a few of your comments out now, see what you're saying. Paula, you're saying, I enjoyed the passing and movement, bar the finishing. It was good. It was enjoyable to watch it. It felt like everybody knew what they were doing, if you know what I mean. Takeoff, you're saying, I was tearing up watching Casemiro yesterday. How do we go 8 years without a proper DM? There's a reason that's on my wall. And I'm not sure I'm going to take it down. I love you, Erik Ten Hag, but I'm not sure I'm going to take that down. I've been crying out for a defensive midfielder for this club until I couldn't be bothered to scream about it anymore. It just seemed like we just constantly wanted to overlook. And the only reason we signed him this season is because the Frankie de Jong situation collapsed. But we've got Casemiro, man. And yesterday, I said Casemiro's arrived after Everton. He's definitely arrived now. I think it actually ultimately was a smart performance, a smart decision, by Erik Ten Hag to start Casemiro, gave him the 80 minutes, took him off for who? Scott McTominay, who came up with a winner. Because McTominay's banned for Newcastle. That Casemiro is just going to get better and better and better. Absolutely going to get better, Matt. And Dylan down there with this, honestly, is it this one here? Not that one. Not that one. Jesus, third time lucky. This blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind that wasn't a red card. Honestly, in every single part of the red card, I haven't read the red card rule book. Is there an actual rule book? 2-footed, off the ground, studs up, out of control, endangering an opponent. It ticks every single box as to why I think something should be a red card. Like, what the fuck is the point in VAR? As I said last night, we can get angry at all the decisions that aren't going our way in terms of VAR, but that is just a clear-cut red card. It was unbelievable. It really, really was that was not given as a red card. It's a genuine, as Warren says there, Craig, sorry, it's a properly disgusting tackle. Cameron, do you think we need to rest Bruno for a game and play Eriksen in the 10 with Fred? I don't think Fred did enough. Yes, I feel like Fred's kind of struggling a little bit with his position in this team. Because if you're looking at a midfield trio that we've got at the moment, we've got Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. The roles are quite clearly defined. If you take Eriksen out and you put Fred in there, kind of the concept of what Fred should be doing is the deeper line playmaker, connecting the defense to the midfield and the midfield to the attack. That's not Fred's game. Fred's somebody who would rather be where Bruno is. But then you're going to have two players occupying the same area of the pitch and you're going to leave too much space where Casemiro is. I feel like Fred's kind of trying to find his feet. I don't think he has, is it clarity in his role? I think he's struggling to understand what position he's supposed to be playing in his Ten Hag system. There's lots that have sort of found their feet with the clarity, but I think Fred's kind of struggling a little bit. But look, something I really want to point out here quickly before I can see lots of you talking about Sancho in the comments. I'm going to answer plenty more comments. I want to go back to this because this is not a new problem at Manchester United, right? 3 games in a row now. Omonia away, Everton at home. Sorry, Omonia away, Everton away, Omonia at home. That's 3 games where Manchester United should have had 3 easy routine wins, I would have called them. We had so many chances in all 3 games, and if we were more clinical, it would have been routine wins. Warren, I see your super chat there. I'll read that out in a bit. But all 3 of them turned into wins. Now let's rewind to, I think, let me check what the date was before I pull this up. I think it was January 2022. Let's have a look. February. This is the start of February 2022. This is under Ralph Rangnick. Now you might, I'm sure you will remember it. You probably don't want to. There was a 3-game period under Ralph Rangnick, and I specifically remember this as a period where I felt it started to go a little bit wrong for Rangnick. And this was when we played Middlesbrough, then Burnley, and then Southampton. Look how many shots we had. Let me go here. New little tool. Look at this. Oh, you can write on the screen. 30 shots we had there against Middlesbrough. We drew 1-1 and we lost on penalties. The next game we played Burnley. Against Burnley, we had 22 shots and we drew 1-1. Against Southampton in the following game, we had 15 shots and we drew 1-1. So in those 3 games, that's 15, 37, 67 shots combined in those 3 games under Ralph Rangnick. And we lost on penalties to Middlesbrough and we drew against Burnley and Southampton. And for me, I remember that being the sort of like the beginning of the end for Ralph Rangnick. Man United are finding themselves in it's different. Of course it's different. I'm not trying to compare the situations the exact same, but I'm saying the same problems that we had with lack of clinical finishing under Ralph Rangnick are now existing under Erik Ten Hag. The common denominator is the attackers that we've got. It's why we need a new striker. It's painfully obvious that is the priority. And if it was Football Manager, you probably would have signed a striker in the summer. We spent a lot of money. January, man, back Erik Ten Hag, get him a new striker. Somebody. We can't get Haaland, right? There is only going to be one Haaland, but we need a Haaland type player. Somebody who just sniffs out goals and his diet is just goals. His home is the 18-yard box. I feel like that's what we need. Unadulterated, pure striker. Because the problem has existed under Ralph Rangnick and the problem exists under Erik Ten Hag. The football's even better under far better under Erik Ten Hag. And I would disagree on that. Our problem right now is definitely not. Out of the 2, the problem is definitely scoring goals. Our defense has definitely improved. Lots of you down here talking about Gakpo. Gakpo's not a pure out-and-out striker. He's not. Although this season, so far, he's had more goal contributions than Erling Haaland. 24 goal contributions from him so far this season, with Haaland on 23. Whoever it's going to be, this is the conversation I think Erik Ten Hag is going to be having with the board, with whoever is in charge of finding him that new striker. And I don't know how we go about getting that striker in January. Lots of you throwing names down here. Belotti, Jonathan David, Tony, Adeyemi, Nkunku, sign Harry Kane, Raspadori, left, right, and centre. That's like 7 or 8 different names. But that's United have got to. Someone's throwing Mbappe down there as well, and somebody said Lukaku. You take that back. It's Friday. Good vibes in here only. We need a striker, man. Yesterday is just more proof of it. And as I said, I can pull up tons of evidence. I just pulled up 3 different games back to back under Radnick and back to back under Erik Ten Hag, and they are 9 months apart, and the same problem exists. And that was back when Ronaldo was firing as well. We need clinical finishers. We need to be ruthless, lethal. So many chances created last night, and it's great to see United playing this well. And I still think there's so much more to come. So much more. That's the exciting thing of it. We spoke about it yesterday, and we all agreed that United are probably around 20-25% along the process of where Erik Ten Hag wants us to be. There's still 75% of this team to go. The proper pressing from the front, winning the ball back, the sort of passing out from the back. Those team goals that have got 33 pass build-ups, they're going to come in time. They haven't come quite yet. Jibak saying, I envy your shirt collection. Yeah, I've got a good one, actually, to be fair. Paul, you're saying, I agree we need a new striker. It wasn't that long ago that we could not break defensive teams down. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. I'm not coming here with just a wholesale negative. I'm not. We won 3 games in a row. I'm trying to take the sort of approach that Erik Ten Hag would take. First thing he did was to compliment the players on their performance yesterday. Compliment them for the win, whilst at the same time saying, you've got to be better at finishing. Come on. You really, really do. And I think everybody knows that. Warren, you sent in a super chat a while ago. Let me go back and read that. I don't want to miss that. What did you say? Did you notice how both fullbacks sat more centrally when in possession? They were playing like midfielders. Benny's influence? That's not Benny's influence. That is Erik Ten Hag's influence. It's called the inverted fullback. It's something Pep Guardiola has done. It's something Tyrell Malacia showed in the preseason. It's something our players have actually been doing quite a bit. Although they were certainly a little bit further forward yesterday. And that's probably what you can do when you play up against a low block, like they were yesterday, because the added extra of the fullback creates an overload, and those overloads are what create space. Estevo, I miss the days when we had the best strikers and wingers in the world, Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez. Man, we were so spoiled, man. We had Berbatov in there as well. Don't forget that. Jeez. We need a Rooney. Honestly, Sam, I think it's not something that I can say off the top of my head now, like, boom, here's your target. And I think that's kind of what makes it a little bit difficult for United. We have to be absolutely accurate with our scouting here. And the problem is that it's January coming up. I don't think Ten Hag will be able to sign the striker he wants in January. So what we've got to find is somebody we can sign in January who's probably in the region of 20 to 35 million pounds, who will come in, boost us for this season, probably be there, and then Ronaldo leaves in the summer, and then we sign a Ronaldo replacement, and then all of a sudden we've got that striker we signed next summer, the striker we signed in January, and then you got Martial and Rashford as options as backups. That's what we need. I don't think we'll be able to get our proper number 9 in January. I'd be very surprised if we do, man. It's just those sorts of transfers don't exist. And Nkunku, he's not really a proper striker. He's got far more versatility to his game. Seems like he's going to Chelsea. Sesko, that looked like a real deal. It looked like it could have been a fantastic signing, but he's going to Red Bull Leipzig. I imagine the conversation about Sesko is going to come up again in maybe 2 years' time. Apparently, did you see that going around? I'm pretty sure that was somebody who plays for Preston North End. There was a video saying, oh, look how good Erling Haaland's cousin is. And it was some bloke who plays for Preston. Honestly, the amount of people that just, and I'm not pointing fingers here, trust me, but the amount of people that just watch something online and just take it as gospel. People, if you see something, just do a little bit of research, take a step back and try and find a second source for whatever you watch. If you watch that video of Haaland's cousin scoring and you start sharing and going, look at Haaland's cousin, great. Just do a little step back, a little search. It will probably take you 10, 15 seconds and you'll realize it's some bloke from Preston. It's honestly, it's a smart thing to do in the modern age. There's so much, it's so easy for fake stuff to spread. I would encourage you to just take a step back and take a second look. Alex, you're saying Gonzalo Ramos. He's not the first one to say that. And no doubt everybody else will be saying that. I think Santa Gunkshi's been down here again. Yes, he has been. 10 memberships in the comments. I'll tell you what. Let me read these 10 out and let me quickly do something. Josh. Josh, you've been gifted a membership. Look at that. Cheeky. Jordan Garrett, you've got one. Colin Hinkson, Matt Catchpole, Kizar Akbar, David Fisher, Sehaj, Waswaham, Cameron Moodley, Edward Von Seth. Congratulations to all of you. And everybody say thank you very much to Gungshi. Whilst I quickly do something myself, you're going to have to forgive me for the next, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. Maybe even less than that, actually. Let me go here. Let me drop that. And let me say, honestly, bottom of my heart, I love this community. And I thank you all for helping it continue to grow. But Gungshi, you've inspired me. So not only are we going to do a giveaway for this today, there's 10 from me as well in the comments. Sam Chiang saying, I propose you hang Kung. You want? I thought you said hang Gungshi on my wall. I'm not going to hang Gungshi. Who's got the 10 from me then? Let's have a look down here. Let me read these ones out. Don't say I don't treat you. Sometimes I do. But that's inspired by Gungshi. Let me read these out. Jordan Massey, you just get another one. Loon Manding, nice. Dendon. Takeoff, you've got one for me as well. Araf, Sean Kunter, Colin Rouse, Carl Dale, Stephen Anderton. I'm not sure who else got it from me, but look. There you go. Everybody's happy. Ten Hag's happy. I'm happy. You're happy. 20 of you are happy now. There really are so many strikers that we could look at, honestly. And I think I just saw that coming up there. Look, you've just thrown another how many different names at me? Honestly, people, so many different names get thrown about. There are probably between 15 and 20 different names over the. If I was to ask you about strikers here, 15 to 20 different names. United had to scout it properly, but I don't need to do a video to prove to you that we need a striker. The evidence is right there in front of yourselves. We're watching the evidence in front of our eyes, and you can see there from that game yesterday. It's what Ten Hag wants as well. He said, "Look, one thing about football, you have to score." And if you saw that after the game, he was asked, "Were you happy?" No, not really. Ten Hag wants goals. We need to. The concept of a routine win is still a bit of a foreign language to this United team. We haven't quite got there yet. You know those games where City go into it and they're playing, I don't know, Southampton at home. You're like, oh, that's a breeze. And it is a breeze. They won 6-0. Those games don't exist for United yet. Omonia, home and away, should have been routine wins. We had enough chances for them to be routine wins. And this team has to get better and more clinical to allow the team. Because if you're clinical like that, there's less pressure on your squad across the whole season. Because if we were 3-0 up by half time yesterday against Omonia, you could take Casemiro off. You could, if you wanted to, take Martinez off. You wouldn't do, but you could take Ronaldo. You could take players off and rest them. Job done. Boom. Let the second team come on and just hold that lead. Then your squad will be fitter across the course of the whole season. It serves the team better overall by getting routine wins. No, I love a last-minute winner. There's nothing better than the goon of a last-minute winner. But I would quite like some routine wins, and I think Erik Ten Hag does as well. Estevo. Ronaldo's fitness level seemed to be on par yesterday. We have to be excited to have him back at full fitness. The goals will flow. Absolutely, I think they will. It feels like Ronaldo's fitness. I told you, I think the Everton game for me was hopefully that was the end of his preseason. Maybe that game yesterday was the end of his preseason. We need Ronaldo firing. If there's anybody who's going to be firing in this squad and being clinical and finding goals, bingo bango. Quite literally the greatest goal scorer of all time. Ronaldo. That's who we want. And that's who we need firing. And he needs to be firing, man. He's got the World Cup in a month. He needs to be firing. But look, I'm down here in the comments, man. The family is growing. It is growing, Brandon. Every single day, every single week. It's great. I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to give this away yet. But at some point in this stream, I'll give this away. So make sure you drop a like on the stream. Don't say I don't treat you well. Sometimes. Tony, big up to you in the chat as well. Lots of you talking about Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney is one to really, really watch. You wouldn't get him for less than probably 40 million, really, considering he plays in the Premier League. But I don't think he'll be going to the World Cup, so his price won't inflate, and he's Premier League proven. He can play the pressing game. There's a lot to love, I think, about the idea of signing him. But look, yesterday, big up Scott McTominay. I did it in my match reaction. I was like, I felt a little bit bad doing it, but Scott McTominay, man, yes, we needed that badly. Had that goal not gone in, then, well, we would we definitely would have been finishing second in that Europa League group. Let me make sure. Sorry, just checking out the chat there. Who's down here in the comments? Let's have a look. Chadwick saying that we noticed De Gea's distribution is getting better every game. Mate, I think it is as well. I'm telling you, if De Gea, I think, has reached that point now, I think it's a bit like Scott McTominay. De Gea has reached a point now where he knows he has to become the goalkeeper that Ten Hag wants, or he will be sold. He will be sold. Well, not sold. He'll be let go on a free. And Scott McTominay, that's why I think his form has sort of peaked. Because he knows if I don't play at the absolute top of my game and do what Ten Hag wants me to do, Casemiro is just going to take my place. And Casemiro has done that. He's absolutely done that. And I think Casemiro was amazing yesterday. Jonathan, you're not wrong there. They are both squad players, but they are good squad players. I would not sell McTominay. I would not sell Fred. I would keep both of those in as good squad players for Manchester United. We still need that deeper lying playmaker, the Frankie de Jong type signing. And hell, maybe he... Geez, I'm not sure I want to go back. I don't want to open that door again. But I would like Frankie de Jong. I still would. Joe, how you doing there? Saying, thank you for all you do. Love watching your videos. Thank you very much for the compliment. I'm not very good at speaking about compliments. But it's just, yeah, it's a cracking community that we're building here and continue to build. James, good question there. Talking about Jadon Sancho. Do you think Sancho created that goal because he plays to the feet? When Ronaldo starts, we play cross into the box. Look, that moment there from Sancho was fantastic. Really smart footwork from him. Gave the opportunity, and it was a really great decision just to cut back on his left, puts it across to Scott McTominay. McTominay made no mistake. Really nice composed finish by McTominay as well. Surrounded by players, dragged it onto his other foot. Yes, Scotty. Yes. But Sancho, Ten Hag actually spoke about Sancho after the game. Let me see if I can pull this quote up, because I thought it was a really interesting quote. It's down here. Is it there? No, it's not that bit there. Let me try and find it, actually. Because he was speaking about, I think it might have been Flex from the United View who gave him the question in the press conference. He was asking about... I won't make it up, but I know what he said. Ten Hag was effectively explaining that overloads are required for a player like Sancho. And by overloads, he means overlapping fullbacks. He wants situations that allow those players to dart on the inside or to go on the outside and to take that predictability away. Like Anthony yesterday, because we were so narrow so often, I feel like it took away from his game. And because we had the fullbacks who were really inverted and they were going inside, they weren't going on the outside, and it allowed that Omonia defense to be really compact because they weren't getting overlapped on the outside. So they could just stay in the middle with no threat of somebody going on the outside for cutbacks. Sancho yesterday was glorious off the bench. Really, really was. Made a big difference in those last 10 minutes and ultimately got the assist for the winner. I've no doubt that Sancho has the quality, but whether it's the system, whether it's the individuals, whether it's confidence, there's something that's just been missing from his game. Not across the whole course of the whole season. Liverpool, great. Leicester scored there. Sancho needs to be delivering that sort of thing yesterday every single game. You have to at the top level or you will get taken out. McTominay, great 4 games. Bad against City, out of the team. Casemiro's in, he's taking his place. That's the way it works at top level football. It's ruthless, it's cutthroat, but it has to be. That's what competition for places is. Samiak, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out. There's a couple of super chats here. Let me read these out. Albert Braut Haaland is the cousin of Erling Haaland and has 64 goals in 30. Is that true? My word. My word. Anthony's saying Casemiro is good yesterday. Yeah, mate, Casemiro is the one. Lots of you talking about Frankie de Jong in the comments down here. I don't think the Frankie de Jong situation will... I mean, it might. And he'll probably be cheaper as well. Cameron, you're saying Sancho and Shaw did well. Yeah, they did. Substitution. I think I saw a stat yesterday. I don't know whether it's completely true or not. That 7 out of Manchester United's last 8 goals came from players who came off the bench. And if I'm thinking off the top of my head, that's Rashford getting 2 away at Omonia. Scott McTominay with a winner last night. That's... can't think off the top of my head. But I'm sure it's near enough. The point I'm trying to make here, there you go. Andrew, you said it in the comments. Ten Hag's game-changing decisions are changing games. They really are. His subs are really starting to... Not really, they are impacting games on a game-by-game basis. He knows how to change a game when it's going on. And that's such a crucial part. Such a crucial part of a manager these days. And Ten Hag's got that in his locker. Riaz, we will overpay for Tony because he's English. Lautaro would be perfect. Martin, we're not signing that. You said it, Ant said, we're not signing Lautaro Martinez, guys. Just don't waste your time. Don't type it out. Pedro from Flamengo would be... there's going to be a million different strikers, as I said before. De Jong's agent just said he's looking for a club for Frankie. Too late for me. He can rot in Barcelona and get him... I'll take him back. Look. Come here, Frank. Come here, Frankie. Come on. You're not getting as much money as you could last time. You're not going to pay as much. Come on. I'd definitely take him. Who am I kidding? I absolutely would. I think all of you would as well. I think we quickly forget. Now, what was your opinion on Rashford's performance yesterday? I feel like I went in quite harsh on him. Was I overly harsh on him? You can let me know in your comments. I'll read a few of them out. Sammy, I'm watching from Mumbai. I've been watching your content since the summer. Lovely stuff. Cheers, buddy. Nice to have you joining in. If we don't finish first, you can guarantee that we're drawing Barcelona. You can basically book your flights now. It's definitely happening. Let's see what you're saying down here. I was hardened. Thought he did fine. Let's have a look. What else you're saying down here? His positioning was good. Rashford had a good game. The goal was the only thing that was lacking. Yeah, maybe I was slightly harsh on Rashford. I think he made a lot of good decisions yesterday. Put himself in a lot of smart positions. But it's just it's the wastefulness that got me. I think it's the football IQ. Whether is it the football IQ? Is it the cuteness? Is it the smartness? It's about those small differences that change a player from being good to a player being great. And right now, Rashford's good. And I do think he's got the potential of being great. But it's just it's the finishing, man. It's the finishing. It's as I said, it's about finding the corners. As I said, the keeper had... I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit here. I'm not going to take too much away from Marcus Rashford. I'm really not. Because I think he did a lot good yesterday. A lot of good. And we created 34 chances. At some point, the same sort of game, you won't play that goalkeeper. He would have probably scored a hat-trick yesterday. But I tell you what, Rashford's looking like Rashford again, isn't he? He really, really is. And Andy, it's a little bit of everything. I wouldn't say it's unlucky. I'd say he's a little bit unlucky for the fact that he came up against a dude who had the absolute game of his life. But I also think that Marcus Rashford knows in himself, when he goes back to training today, he'll be able to say, look, I probably could have been a little bit more accurate. And accuracy, that's the thing. That's the thing that Rashford didn't have. He had everything yesterday, but he just didn't have that accuracy. And yeah, I'll be honest, every single one of their defenders was all over all of our team. They sat there, as Ten Hag described them, as a handball defense, really, really deep. But they were. And it was tough to break them down, but we broke down another low block. We did it against Everton too. I thought we missed Eriksen's vertical passing yesterday. Fred was going side to side. We missed Eriksen's line breakers. We really, really did. And there, I agree with you. Look, he's definitely looking good again. And Wendy, I think his confidence is coming back. You're right. Rashford lacks the ruthlessness of Van Nistelrooy. Hey, 97% of strikers lack the ruthlessness of Van Nistelrooy. Still, I think the greatest striker I've seen play for United in the Premier League. I'm not sure that's going to be beaten. If you got the privilege of watching those 3 seasons where he scored like, was it 30 plus in 3 back-to-back 3 years in a row? Van Nistelrooy, man, Go and watch his highlights. Go and watch his best goals. It's amazing. Lacked composure and could have put it on a plate for his teammate, but chose a shot instead. Well, as I said, I'm trying not to be too harsh on him here. Rashford needs to not to pass and not try those shit. I think Rashford is gonna. I mean, that I'm not denying that. I have no idea what happens if Delo gets injured. By the way, I'm worried about it because it will happen. It's a case of when and not if. But look, he is an inside forward. He's not a striker, and I suppose that sort of finishing, you're kind of seeing that. But look, what I want to do here quickly, two things, right? First of all, I want to say big shout out to Bet Victor for supporting United People's TV. They do normally support the Friday show. And this week they're talking about their top 4 predictions. I want to have a little conversation with you about the top 4 before we move on to player ratings. We did this last game and you all really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to do it again today. But this is, let's have a little listen to this for the Bet Victor's predictions on who's going to finish inside the top 4 this year.
Paul, can I just get your predictions now, a quarter of the way through the season? Who will finish in those 3rd and 4th places?
Liverpool and that's a great question.
Chelsea. Potter are playing well. Is it Chelsea?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Boovie, who do you think?
Arsenal and Chelsea for me.
Well, who will be the top 2 then?
Man City and Liverpool.
Right, brilliant. Spurs not even in. Okay, and Lee. Lee, if Arsenal and Man City are 1 and 2, who's 3 and 4?
I think Liverpool still. I still think that they're getting it. I think that they'll get there. And I hate to say it. I think that Tottenham will just sneak in at 4th. Like, you know, I'm not too. I'm watching Chelsea, and I don't know about. I'm not criticising them at all, but I don't know. I just think that something's not quite right. Man United. I don't think you can write off Man United. By the way, with the players they've got, but they look a bit bitty. But I just think that Spurs, just because they've got that solid foundation of what they've got, I think we'll get in there as well.
Isn't it amazing, right? That was a minute there. 4 different sort of all their predictions on who's going to finish inside the top 4. And United was sort of mentioned as a footnote. And I've honestly I'm fine with that. I am so fine with that. United this season, they're sort of like, I think we're going under the radar. People aren't really looking at us. They're not looking. We've got 15 points out of our last 18 in the Premier League. The next 3 games will really define whether that's a good bit of form or whether we've actually got real top 4 hopes. We played Newcastle, then we play Spurs, then we play Chelsea. Now, we've already beaten Arsenal. We've already beaten Liverpool. We've got to do it in these next 3 games. But look, go over there. I'm going to leave the link to the full video. Go over there. There's a comment of mine on there. Drop a like on it. It does help. Shows that the community goes over there and watches the video. But I find it amazing that people are just dismissing us. And I'm fine with it. I think Ten Hag's fine with it. I think it suits us for this season. The way we're looking good. But I'll tell you what, it is going to be a tough top 4 race. I think Spurs look good. Chelsea are definitely better under Potter. And Liverpool won't be as shit as they've been at the start of the season. They will get better. And I have no idea who's going to get in that top 4. Maybe I've got to do another top 4 predictions halfway through the season. Maybe I will. But look, let's start off here. I did this for the last game, and you all seem to really, really enjoy it. So I'm going to do it again. Let's go through player ratings for Manchester United yesterday, and starting off with David De Gea. Now, you type your number 1 to 10 in the comments below. I'll try and get a bit of a sort of an average from the community that you all send in, and then we can have a conversation about it. We'll do it for every player. You really enjoyed it last time. We'll sort of build it into our live show that we do the day after the game. And you're saying underestimate your competition at your peril. Absolutely. Mark, you're saying Liverpool are 6 points behind 4th and are probably going to get hammered by City. Everyone thinks they're nailed on for top 4. It's absurd. It's a strange bit of confidence. Let's be honest. Liverpool have been very good up until this last few seasons. They've been very good, consistent. Now, they're wobbling. But that 7-1 win against Rangers is going to give them a bit of confidence. Let me see what you think down here about David De Gea's performance then. Anthony, you're going for a 7, 6.5. Let's pull this full screen there. Nick, you're saying 7. Stu, 6, 8, 7, 7, 8. I think I would probably give him, overall, if I'm looking down here, I think that would probably be about the average for what you're all saying down there. About 6.5 down here in the comments. Let me see what these are Andy Mitten's player ratings, by the way. He's given David De Gea a 6. I think a 6, 6.5 would be a fair thing to give David De Gea. Let's be honest, he was an absolute spectator yesterday. It was the other keeper who saved 34 shots. David De Gea did not have much to do. I'm going to give him a 6. I think that's pretty fair. Move on. Who we got next? Diogo Dalot. Now, I wouldn't say it was the most spectacular game from Diogo. He definitely operated as an inverted fullback quite a lot. Playing narrow, I imagine that was a pure tactical decision by Erik Ten Hag. I don't think he offered too much going forward. I don't particularly think I'll tell you what, there was one big mistake he made. You know, when Martinez had that little shove, and it could have been given as a red, depending on what the referee wanted to do. It just looked like a bit of neat defending. But Dalot, let me see what you're saying in the comments. Gungshi, you're going for a 6. John, you're going for a 7, 5, 6.5, 7, 7, 8.5, says Mandy. Jeez. No way was it an 8.5. 7, 5, 4. I'm probably gonna put it at like the same sort of level as David De Gea. I think I would put it as a 6. What's Andy giving him? He's giving him a 5. So a little bit less than David De Gea. More touches than any player. Set up Fernandes for one of the first half shots. Also played a poor ball, which allowed a rare. And that was a ball I talked about there that sort of left Martinez in no man's land. Who's this for? I'm guessing it's for Lindelof. Hey, Lindelof, man. It's nice that we've got a third choice that I think we can consider. Right, okay. If there's an injury now to Varane or Martinez, we can probably deal with it for a couple of games. I think Lindelof has proven that in these last couple of games. I think Lindelof always has been a good centre-back. The fact that he's played alongside Harry Maguire, it's not helped him. It's really not helped him. I don't think he particularly did much right or wrong yesterday, but you can say that about our whole defence. They didn't have much to do. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. 8, he carries the ball so well. 5, 5, 8, 7.5, 6.5. Played quite good. 6.5, 7. I would probably go for a 6.5 for Victor Lindelof. That would be my guess. He's got a 6 down there. Now, I don't think Andy does half ratings, but I think we can call that pretty spot on. I think 6.5 would be fair for him. What about the butcher himself? Man, I love this dude so much. Proper man crush. Martinez just... Again, I don't think Martinez... You can say the same thing can be said about all of our defenders, but Martinez is reaching that level of consistency at United now where people are just going to be sleeping on him putting in a 7 out of 10 performance. Do you not think that? Like, it's like, oh, Martinez has done another 7 out of 10. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's what I expect. And it's been so long since I could say that about any United player, really. And certainly about United centre-back. Let me go down here. Menander's getting number 8. 8, the butcher. Get Andy on one day to explain his ratings. That'd be good. That'd be a good little crossover. Martinez was a 6 for me. Second worst game. 6 at best. Geez, Andy, you're feeling a bit chipper this morning. You're always feeling chipper. I wouldn't say it was his greatest game either, I'll be honest. 7, 7.5, 6. I wouldn't give it as high as an 8. I certainly wouldn't give it as high as an 8. If I go down here, I probably think a 6.5 would be fair for Martinez as well. He's giving him a 7. Accused of a foul by travelling fans. No worries with him. I don't think there was particularly any worries. I think 6.5 is probably a fair estimation for him. What about Tyrell Malacia? Be interested to know what you think about him down there. Let me read. Ray, you just sent a super chat. What are you saying, sir? I think we're seeing Ten Hag's way of football. When was the last time you would see United put 34 shots with 13 on target in the last 3 years? Well, Ray, we've already ran through that at the start of the show. Back when we played Middlesbrough in February under Ragnick, right there, 30 shots. Next game, 22 shots. Next game, 15 shots. We have had games where we've done it before. But Malacia, let me see what you're saying down there. 6.5, 6, 6, 5, 5.5, 7, 7.5. Malacia had some nice overlapping runs. I'd probably go for a 6. I think just like an average 6. Nothing particularly. There you go. 6 out of 10. Nothing particularly right or wrong with this game. It was a game that kind of passed him by a little bit. I think 6 is fair. What about Casemiro? Second time he started in a row. I don't know why I'm making loads of noises here. Casemiro, man. If I do that, I don't know why. I'm just going to draw a big circle around his head and then just draw a big smiley face. Don't know why I did that, but I decided to. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. 7.5 says Michael over there. 6, 8.5 says Pixie. 8, 7.5, 7.8, gradually adjusting. 8, 8. I'd probably say 7.5. You got a 7. 7 from Andy. Always asked for the ball, brings balance, came closest to scoring. Yeah, man. Casemiro, we're seeing Casemiro now. And trust me, there is so much more to come from Casemiro too. There is so much more to come from Casemiro. We're seeing some good stuff now, but I think there's definitely more in the locker. Midfield partner of Fred. I'll be honest. I think that Fred, again, we spoke about this earlier in the show. I think that Fred is just, he's struggling a little bit. I don't know how to describe it with Fred. It seems like he doesn't particularly know his position that well. He's certainly not an Eriksen understudy, which he needs to be. I think that's his place in the team now. But I think he would rather be a Bruno understudy. But Bruno plays like 90 minutes every game. Let me see what you're saying about Fred in the comments. 5, 5. Fred's a 6. 5, 6. Fred's a 5. 6, 6.5. 4. Fred, 6.5. I'd probably give him a 5, I think. I think Fred's a 5. Fred's a 6. So Andy Mitten thinks that Fred played better than Diogo Dalot. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. But he's giving him a 6. It's a little bit more than I would have given him. Anthony. I think Anthony, it was a game yesterday where I think Anthony kind of struggled a little bit, didn't he? In the first half, with how compact their defense was being, Anthony was struggling for space quite a bit, wasn't he? He wasn't really cutting out on his left foot. He wasn't really getting into shooting positions because he couldn't get into shooting positions because any time he did try to cut inside of a defender, there was another defender right there on the edge of the box. So we couldn't really do too much. Let me see what you would give him down here in the comments. Go for a 6, 7.8, very specific. 6, 4, 5.5. Anthony was a 5, says Ant. 6, 6, 7. I'd probably go 5.5 if I'm being honest on Anthony. I think he's done better than that. And Andy Mitten's giving him a 5. So probably on the same level and par as Diogo Dalot. I think that's kind of fair. Bruno. What about Bruno? I wouldn't say it was Bruno's best game yesterday. I think Bruno gets criticised intensely. I think he's one of the most, like, people expect, if Bruno Fernandes doesn't deliver a goal or an assist in a game, he really gets pelters. And I think that's sort of the levels that he's set himself. Because he is a very good player. But I think he was a little bit all over. It was kind of like a little bit old school, Bruno, I think. Right, let me go down here and see what you're thinking in the comments. 5 for Bruno. 8 for Bruno. 6 for Bruno. Brandon, you're saying 7. T, you're going 7.5. Kieran, you're saying 7. 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. I think a 6 would be a fair. Yeah, Bruno's got a 6. I think that will be a fair description of his game yesterday. It's not one of his best. I don't think he was the worst. I think he was just a bit of a middler. What about Rashford? I'll be very interested to know what the overall rating would be down here in the comments. Because Rashford was wasteful, but Rashford's movement, his chance creation, his passing, his link up, I think Rashford did a lot of good yesterday. It's just the fact that I suppose when you're looking at Rashford and what we're judging him on there, it's his goals. But if you're judging him on the rest of his game, it was a very good game. If you're judging him on his goals, it wasn't a good game. 6 for Rashford, 6.5, 7, 7, 7.5 says Brandon, 5.5, 7. He was the biggest threat, even though he missed chances. 6, 7.5. I'll be honest, Connor, I think you're spot on with that comment there. I'll give him a 7 in that game. Marcus Rashford's got a 6 down there from Andy Mitten. Ooh, that's harsh. I think that's a little bit harsh. But I would probably put him down as a 7. He did definitely try. He got himself into great positions, but ultimately he's got a 6 there from Andy Mitten because he is getting judged on his finishing. And I kind of understand that. Depends which angle you take. What about Cristiano? I think Ronaldo seems to be getting better and fitter, definitely. I don't think he was overall. I don't think he was particular. I think he got squeezed. I think he had no space whatsoever yesterday. That defense sat so deep that even if he was to operate as a pure number 9 and not move, which he kind of did for a lot of the game yesterday, there was just no space for Ronaldo to operate at all. No real space for Anthony to operate or Rashford or any of them really. 6 down here in the comments. 5.5, 6, 6.5, 4. 4. That's harsh. 6 for Ronaldo. 5.5, 5. Porter, you're saying 6, 5.5, 6. I'd probably go for a 5.5. I imagine he'll probably get a 6. Yeah, you got a 6. But if I'm honest, I would go for a 5.5. What about the subs? Let's have a look quick. Jadon Sancho. I'm going to give him a 7 straight away. Simply for the fact that he came off the bench and made that difference. I mean, he might not even actually got a rating down there. 7. And you're going to have to give McTominay the same rating, right? Luke Shaw, he played quite well. And he's got a 6 from Andy Mitten. And McTominay, he's got a 7. I'm not sure who I would choose as a man. I would probably choose Scott McTominay as man of the match simply because he got the winner. But I don't think it was a game where any particular player massively excelled. That's the way I would describe that game yesterday. But it's a game where we got the result. And ultimately, that is what matters. Yes, that is what matters. But look, quickly before we wrap up the show here, there's 2 things I need to do. Number 1, I need to do a giveaway. How am I going to do a giveaway? Right. I'm going to do a quiz question. And whoever is the first person to answer it, let me make sure. I know the answer here, but I'm just going to double check before I ask. Just to make sure I don't get it wrong. Yep. Right. Whoever answers it first in the comments, you're going to win this shirt. Secondly, I'm going to do the map straight after for because it's Fabled Map Friday. Who did we sign Park Ji-sung from? There you go. There's a question. I'm going to look in the comments, and whoever's the first one that comes in here, you're going to get it. Just going to sit here patiently. Oh, there you go. Boom. Straight in there. Everybody, round of applause for Alex. It was PSV. It was PSV indeed. Now, there's so many of you are coming in with PSV now, but you're not quick enough. Alex, mate, you're going to have to slide into my DMs on Instagram or Twitter because I can't. YouTube doesn't allow me to contact anybody. I get no contact details for all of you. You might be members of the community, but I can't contact you. So you're going to have to reach out to me. Otherwise, I can't give you the show. But congratulations, sir. Look at that. Friday giveaway. Beautiful. Now, let's pull up the map. Let's pull up the map, eh? Anybody who's watching who hasn't got themselves on the map yet, let me know where you're watching from. Look at the countries we've got on here recently. We've got Port St. John's in South Africa. We've got Houston in Texas. Penang in Malaysia. Fife in Scotland. Middlesex in Jamaica. Alexandria in Egypt. Oh, brilliant. Let's see who else we can get on here. Jordan, let's get you on there. Lisbon in Northern Ireland. We haven't got that one on there. We got some in Northern Ireland. Where's Lisbon? You know that. County Antrim. There you go. On you go, sir. Get the red arrow on there. Let's get 2 more of you on here. This is open to everyone. I'm not just closing this to members only now. I'm going to open it to everybody. Why not? Mo, you're watching from Skara in Sweden. Look at that. Skara in Sweden. Gotland County. That sounds like a pretty cool place. I'd love to visit Scandinavia. That'd be wicked at some point in my life. I haven't done it yet. Awesome. We've got Nareg watching from Beirut in Lebanon. One of my best mates' wives is from Beirut, or from Lebanon, and I've been meaning to go and visit them for some time. Dan, you're not watching. I definitely know you're not watching. But look, when it happens, I'm really looking forward to it. Let's get one more on here as well. Feeling in a Friday mood. Who else we got down here? See if we can get somewhere new. Making some weird noises now. Don't know what I'm doing. Alan watching from Chicago. Yeah, bro. On you go. Welcome aboard. Do we have Chicago on here? I can't remember if we've got Chicago on here. I know there's a massive. No, Chicago. No, that's in Illinois. Is that right? I think he's in. I don't know what state Chicago's in. But look, on you go, sir. Welcome aboard. Alex, my man, congratulations. You won the shirt. Everybody, I enjoy doing that. They're player ratings. I've enjoyed it both times now. Maybe we can sort of spread this out into a separate video, but as it stands, we'll do it in the live show the day after every game. Big up to all of you for joining in. Thank you all for a cracking week of the live streams. I'll be here later on today with my starting 11 for Newcastle. Tomorrow, there's going to be a video on Ten Hag's system. It'll be a really good tactical video. You enjoy the tactical videos, and I think it's going to be a good one. I'm going to show you how this system's progressing and how and where we need to still improve. But thank you all for joining in. Big up to Gungshi for generously donating 10 gifted memberships. I've dropped 10 in as well. Lots and lots of people, they say, mate, Sam, you have to talk so much about United. You're like, can't you just have a break? And I'll just go to them.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
Yes. Yes, we got Barry in. Yes, we got Barry in, my friend. Absolutely. Look at that. Someone Mayhar saying, Sam, I can't understand. I said PSV first. Not on my screen, you didn't, my friend. Sorry about that. But look, Dominic, I'm sorry, man. I didn't actually see if there were other gifted memberships. Alex and Dominic, thank you so much, lads. I honestly didn't see them. I apologize that, Jonathan. Honestly, I love it that you hate it so much, and it makes me want to play it again. I won't do it now, though, but look, have a cracking weekend, everybody. Make sure you check out the video later. I'll be here after the game on Sunday. Another 3 points. Come on, please. 15 out of 18. Let's make it 18 out of 21. Take it easy.